The Hangout on Air is live. Hello, everyone on the internet. Welcome to week 4 of the Small Empires Hangouts with The Verge. I'm Sam Sheffer, social media manager of The Verge, and we can go this way, I think, or this way, and have you guys introduce yourselves. So, Steven, you're up.
Hey guys, I'm Stephen Greenwood. I am the producer, one of the producers of Small Empires, and I am extremely happy to be here this morning.
Hey, if you want to go.
Take it away, Tarun.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Tarun. I'm the head of product and design at Wattpad. Really happy to be here.
Hey, I'm Kirk Larson. I'm the director of Small Empires, and yeah, I'm happy to have a nice coffee and talk to some nice folks.
Good morning.
Is it me?
And
Yeah,
last but not least.
Oh, hey, I'm Alexis Ohanian, host of Small Empires.
Cool.
Sleepy boy.
So,
All right, so before we get into the talking about the company and everything, I just want to give a little preface and a shout out to the wonderful city of Toronto. We had such a good time in Toronto, and we kind of hit it at the perfect time of year because like the leaves were changing, everything was pretty.
Yeah.
But everybody was so nice. I just had
that's
to
just a Canada.
give a respect to Toronto because I might have found a new city that I want to live in.
Thank you very much. No, I very much appreciate that. It was awesome having you guys. You should totally come back. But we are so proud to be based out of Toronto. It just means a lot. So we love the city.
I guess that's a good place to start. Should we talk about why Toronto and how the company was built in the beginning there?
Yeah, sure. So we were founded in 2006, and our co-founder Alan and Ivan, they're Canadian, and when they thought of Wattpad, when they were thinking about starting this company, they only really had one thing in mind, and that was to create an amazing internet company. And really, what you need to create an amazing internet company, Alan likes to joke, like the #1 requirement is good internet. And we very much believe that you can create a great internet company anywhere. So he just thought about doing that in Toronto, and it stayed there, and we were very, very proud to kind of be a big part of the ecosystem here and continue to support it. It means a lot to us to be from Toronto, and it's just great to be a success story in the city. So
absolutely. And I guess I should also say that like when we were looking at companies to profile in Toronto right away, everybody kind of that I talked to and from what I had read was all like Wattpad, they're right in the heart of the city doing amazing things. So that's a testament to what you guys have built as well.
Yeah, for everyone joining us or just joining us, can you explain what Wattpad is? Because the episode just came out before this Hangout went live, so no one has seen it yet. So talk about what you do at Wattpad and what Wattpad does.
Yeah, so Wattpad is the world's largest community for discovering and sharing stories. So it's where anyone as a storyteller can go and just start writing a story. And it's really Wattpad's story experience that's unique. So the stories on Wattpad are episodic and serial in nature. So a writer goes in, starts just with one part or one chapter of a story, and then just continues writing and building readership based on as they update. So kind of a very organic way of telling a story. And along the way, they're building a readership, they're building following. Readers they start to comment in the stories itself through like inline comments and start to really like shape the stories themselves. And there's a lot of kind of connection that's happening within that story experience. So that's kind of Wattpad as a product. What I do there is manage the product management and design or operations. So we really are, our role is to really make sure that we're putting out the best product, an amazing user experience. experience. We're an app on iOS and Android, all the major platforms you would expect, and also on Wattpad.com.
So as someone who's never used Wattpad before, it sounds like you sort of just go in and it's more of like a discovery platform, or is this more geared toward people who want to tell stories?
Yeah, it's actually very much of a discovery platform. We're very, very focused on. I think one of our kind of core tenets is that we want to create a place where readers and writers have equal footing, right? So yes, it is a creative community and where writers can go build a following, but it's very much somewhere where if you love to read, can just kind of satisfy any kind of voracious appetite for reading that you want. So we're very much a platform about finding that next great story that you'd love to read. So we put a lot of focus on our overall kind of discovery experience.
And is there, would assume like a featured user kind of thing? Is that done based on the community or based on, do you guys have a team that's sort of like upvoting and downvoting the good and the bad?
Yeah, so we like to, there's discovery kind of happens in many different ways. Obviously, there's people that are looking for a specific story, a specific type of story that happens through search. But when it comes to recommendations, we like to make sure that we deliver kind of an individual experience to everyone. So we put a lot of focus on individualized recommendations, and we try out a number of different things to kind of make that happen. We do curation to a degree, but we like to really let the crowd surface what's amazing. And so we really put a lot of focus on creating kind of, we have these things called hot lists across our different tags and genres on Wattpad, and what makes it onto the hot list is really like the amount of user activity, the amount of readership, and all of that stuff. So it's a very kind of organic platform for readership growth.
So is Wattpad mostly popular in America, or do you guys support languages of all sorts?
We're actually very much of a global community. 65% of our users are actually outside of North America. So we support over 55 different languages and are extremely popular in countries like the Philippines, where we even have like a TV show. There's a TV show that's like just airs like right after The Amazing Race.
Wow.
Wattpad stories. It's pretty unreal.
So it's just like people reading Wattpad stories?
No, it's not that. That would be kind of funny, actually. No, it's actually reenactments of popular Wattpad stories on TV. But the show is called Wattpad Presents. We're also really, really big in other places in Southeast Asia, really big in Western Europe, in Spain, Portugal, France. Brazil is a huge market for us. Turkey is massive for us right now. It's really growing. So we're very much of a global storytelling community.
Okay. And you might have answered this already, but you can do writing on the web interface, right? This is not just locked to mobile.
Yeah. You can write on the web. You can write on mobile. We found that it's really interesting, like the usage, how people use the writing experience across both web and mobile. When I first joined Wattpad, my first project was putting writing on mobile apps, and we saw that as soon as we did that in the first few weeks, it was something like 30 to 40% of all new stories were being added from mobile. So
wow,
there's a ton of writing activity that's happening on the web, but mobile plays a big part in
Have you guys ever considered partnering with doctors to cure thumb disease? I feel like if people are writing whole novels, their thumbs didn't Anna Todd write her whole book on just her phone? And that's like thousands of pages. How do you do that? Do you guys have an exercise page where it's private?
I don't know how to answer this question.
I'm just joking.
Taka, one of the writers that we interviewed in the episode, was actually the pioneer of the cell phone novel.
Yeah.
The English cell phone novel, right? Do you know what kind of where that came from? And it was Japan, right? Was that kind of the origin of the cell phone novel?
Yeah, Japan kind of pioneered that cell phone novel format. But to go back to your point, really in all seriousness, it's I mean, we obviously we're not like. Anna wrote her novel partly. What we see is like people write their novels either they start on the web and then they move to mobile. They do a little bit of editing and then maybe do like the final publishing on mobile. But it's giving people the ability to write anywhere is a big part of the game, right? Like it's about like saying, hey, you know what? You have a great idea for a story. Start on your computer, but then when you get to the subway, you just continue it. So it's not, we don't like to look at it necessarily as like this is mobile writing and this is web writing. It's kind of just like this is writing.
Well, it's kind of like that whole thing. It's like it used to be like, oh, I came up with the idea for this novel on a cocktail napkin, or I wrote it on my hand, and then I had to run because it was raining, and it started to like become mush.
Yeah,
just you can write anywhere.
Bingo. Yeah, that's the
We confirmed that actually happens in real life, the whole cocktail thing, and that this isn't just a.
I tried to write an idea on a cocktail napkin once, and the ink just spread everywhere, and the whole thing was just a blob. It was horrible.
It's impossible. I don't think that anybody actually does that.
I don't think so either.
Wasn't it J.K. Rowling or something? The famous stories, like her notes were like on napkins from Harry Potter. I've heard that somewhere.
They were magical napkins, and you could write on them forever.
They never ran out of room.
Yeah.
I guess I want to field a question to the guys that were on the shoot. What was something interesting? Was there like a oh wow that's kind of crazy moment when you guys were filming the episode? Something about the company?
Alexis, I'll let you take that one.
I don't know if I understand the context. I mean, the scariest, sort of craziest moment for me was when we were shooting one scene by the waterfront, and my box of Timbits spilled over.
You almost lost all your donuts.
Just even thinking about it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know. I mean,
Alexis was insistent that we get a box of Timbits, which are essentially donut holes, right, from Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
And then put them as close as we could to some water, very windy water.
And it blew over, and you lost the donut holes.
We rescued them. We still get them.
We picked them up off the dock.
My second rule.
Yeah, it took a while, but.
But I'm trying to think. I mean, they're like I don't know. Maybe I'm just unfazed, but I don't feel like there's anything in particular.
Well,
one of the things that definitely. Steven?
When we walked into the offices, I really loved the space. Wattpad space is beautiful.
Yeah, and there was this.
And it's
the whole team there was really vibing. I haven't seen the episode yet, so we will see. But like we do these walkarounds, nearly all episodes, where we're just kind of randomly distracting people while they should be working, talking to them about why they're there and how they got into ending up at a startup. And it just was particularly, like, everyone was particularly, like, amped about Wattpad. They kept bringing up the community. They kept just being really, really excited about what was happening there in a way that allowed people to, create and also share really interesting stories.
Yeah, I was surprised that it seems like you guys are actually reading the stories on the site, which, frankly, you don't have to. I don't think, like you don't need to be doing that to be making a good site, but you guys seem to just really enjoy it, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we have this channel on Slack where we pass around like our funniest stories that we discover, and it's part of it. It's like, all right, guys, we kind of need to do some work as well, but these stories are pretty hilarious, so you can't stop it.
Right.
And you're doing something right when you create an ecosystem that you're just completely addicted to yourself.
Right.
One thing I'll say is that when Alexis walked in, I know there was a lot of fanboying and fangirling happening in the office. That the co-founder of Reddit was there, so that was one big thing for us.
Well, that's nice. If only they knew. No, but they and I think the other thing too that was really, I have to see the episode, but the thing that gets me really excited too is there's a startup community.
I wonder what he's saying.
And lost my there's a startup community in Toronto that has this amazing, really, really strong pride very, very heavy on the Canadian kindness. Everyone's so nice. I just wanted to have someone say like "fuck Silicon Valley." But no one
Yeah.
can do that.
No, everyone's like, yeah, they're doing some good stuff over there. We're doing some good stuff over here. It's all good.
Yeah, we can both do our things, really well. But like, it is very clear how much pride there is, and yeah, it's cool. That's one of the things we really wanted to highlight on this season.
Yeah, I think one of the things, the way that I was thinking about this after you guys left, and I was like, why is it that like why Toronto? And I was like kind of having a bit of an existential moment too. I'm like, why the hell are we here, right? And at the end of the day, it comes down to, yes, we can build a great company here, and it's amazing. But now that we have reached a certain level of success, we think, well, can we just like move to the Valley and be more successful? I guess that's a potential, but there's also like this notion of the ecosystem kind of got us to where we are. Like that small Toronto startup ecosystem that we were a part of actually got us to where we are. And it's something that, it's not necessarily like, obviously we're a company, we're trying to build a business here. But a big part of it is also kind of paying it forward, and we want to be part of kind of raising the tide for everyone. And I think what makes things so successful in Silicon Valley is that like you have a lot of people that are building businesses there, and it's amazing to have a community of people that are going through those same struggles and learning from each other in that ecosystem, where it's like, you know what, I'm going through this exact same problem with my startup. How can I can just kind of like reach out and grab a coffee with someone that's in the same place, and we can figure something out. Well, we can provide that same kind of environment here, and it's really great to be kind of like part of one of those success stories that can actually inspire others in Toronto to start something here too. So it's kind of goes back to that Canadian pride, but it's also just like the pride to be like in whatever city you're in, like it's Toronto or San Francisco or Portland or Seattle, wherever it is. It's just like we want to be part of that like rising tide and really help rise the tide for others as well.
So you guys are one of the biggest, would you say you guys are one of the biggest startups out of Toronto?
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of fortunate to be in a select few, and like when I joined the company, we were 12 people. About 2.5 years ago, we just hit our 100th employee recently. Wow. So we've seen a significant amount of growth, and we just moved into this beautiful new office, like just in the heart of downtown. So. And
this was the office that's in the episode.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Yeah, our previous office was nice, but it wasn't. It was like up in the burbs.
So I have another question for you. Has anyone just been a nobody, just like regular writer, and then sort of became like this huge person, maybe like had a book deal published, or has like a huge fan base now that people look forward to, continuations of their stories?
Yeah, actually, we have a great example of that. So we have a writer named Anna Todd that is on Wattpad as Imaginator 1D. She lives in Texas. She's not a writer formally, and she started writing this novel about One Direction, one of the characters in One Direction, and it's called After. She started in April 2013, and in 1 year, she wrote 295 chapters of that novel, over 1 million words, and got over 1 billion reads for that, for her work. It was just incredible to see how successful she got.
One Direction. This is about someone from One Direction.
This is about one of the characters in One Direction. She wrote a fan fiction of them. And it got so popular that she ended up getting a book deal with Simon & Schuster, and there's the first of 4 books that just got released like a couple of weeks ago. And she just closed a movie deal with Paramount, and that just happened a couple of weeks ago as well. So like, and all of that happened on Wattpad. All of that was just like her, building her fan base, building her following, really, really hustling and just trying to be a writer. And if you follow that story right from chapter 1, you'll see her progression as a writer too. And it's so incredible to see, like, you know, whether it's just like her prose, her style of narrative, the character development, everything. Like, it's just evolved from, you know, someone writing a few words on, you know, on a cell phone, like just kind of banging it out like when they're like on the subway, to becoming a multi-book deal author on par with like the best of them, really. So it's really great to see.
Do you know if she was taking feedback from the community as she was writing this? Like, were they suggesting things that they wanted to see happen?
Yeah, you know, it's always interesting to kind of talk to different writers and their approach to feedback. Like, you have some writers that are like, they like to listen to it, but they have a very kind of strong sense of narrative that they want to pursue. Others that are just like, they have an idea out there and they just let the crowd do all the work for them. I think Anna was like a little bit in the middle there. I think she definitely had a sense of where the story was going to go. She's very, very much in tune with all of her readers, so she is like constantly talking to them, always. Anytime anyone comments, anyone messages her, she's always like super, super engaged with them. I've seen her use our app, and it's friggin' incredible because she's like a super, super user. I think it's just really a testament of her like really engaging with her audience that has gotten her to where she is today. I think it would be hard for me to sit here and say like over 295 chapters, did the audience not influence it at all? Probably not. There are probably parts, twists and turns that were kind of influenced by what her readers were saying. But you know, from how she ended the story, I think she had a very kind of strong sense of where she wanted to go, and she was really like excited to see all of her readers on board as well. So it's kind of a spectrum, right? Like, as a writer, how you respond to that feedback is very, very different. It's very, very individualized thing.
Are you expecting more of your writers to be producing things that turn into like sort of new media that goes beyond just the ebook format?
If we are successful, absolutely. I mean, what we're trying to do is to help Wattpad writers be as successful as they can possibly be. We really want to grow this ecosystem, and it's in our interest, it's in their interest to really build, to generate kind of new value in that. So we strongly believe in creating opportunities for our writers to both to become successful, build their community, but also kind of start to monetize and things like that too. So yeah, we definitely want to see that success happen.
After Reddit's community starts getting equity, right? This proposed plan to give the community equity, we're going to see Wattpad users all looking for residual checks from these big movie deals, right?
So I'm not going to comment on that because I'm not the CEO.
Wasn't there was one film that was created out of a Reddit comment? Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was.
Well, there's a screenplay, right?
That's what it was.
I don't quite know how Hollywood works, but the guy got a screenplay for Rome, Sweet Rome, which came out of a series of comments about this hypothetical thread about who would win if a bunch of present Marines were traveled back in time to fight the entire Roman Empire.
It's insane. It would be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and so like there's a whole community. If you go to the Reddit forum r/Rome Sweet Rome, you'll see all this fan art, and they even made a trailer. Wow. But our policy was to just obviously give him full control over the screenplay. So that's all him. I don't know where it went. It's been a minute since it's been about a month since the last update on that community forum. So I don't know if we'll ever see it hit theaters, but I hope.
In some alternate universe, it exists, I would say.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get Steven and Kurt working on the film.
Yeah, I'm gonna play all of the Navy SEALs. Body replacement. I'm gonna be each one.
Yeah, I want to act. Actually, I want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
It's about time, guys.
As a Roman guard.
You have the hair for it. You could be like a Caesar.
All right. Well.
So,
I will. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just looking for that that Alexis tweeted a while ago. It was about like some guy that showed up on an AMA and just started talking about like taquitos or something like that.
Oh, yeah, he showed up talking about tamales. It was amazing.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the thread.
Anyways, sorry, off topic.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, as we wrap up, and hopefully people are tuning into the episode, and they're trying to get a better understanding of Wattpad, where would you suggest that they start as far as like different like communities or areas of conversation?
So Wattpad itself, I mean, really, if you're looking to kind of immerse yourself in the community, join Wattpad. Follow me. I'm at Tarun. And get yourself started. It's really, really easy. Download the app. It's on the App Store. It's on Google Play. That's really the best way to experience it. It's just to kind of dive right in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks Stephen and Tarun and Kirk and Alexis for joining. And for those of you watching this, go watch the episode because it's up on a website called TheVerge.com. It's also on our YouTube channel. Search Small Empires Wattpad and you'll find it. And we're doing this again next week, another hangout. Same day, different time, but I'll tweet about that with the Verge account. And yeah, thanks again, guys, for hanging out, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.